DC's absolute universe is coming, and we have learned a few new things about the absolute universe going forward. It's not going to be like how Marvel did it with their ultimate universe. It was just where that universe was just completely separate from the 616, and it was just doing its own thing there to decide to bring Miles Morales over. But besides that, it was completely separate from it, no interaction or anything like that. It was just the ultimate universe, and that's what it was. This time around, it's not going to be like that. When it comes to the DC and the absolute universe is going to run parallel to the main universe, and at some point they're going to interact. We've also learned that it's not just going to be limited to just Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. We're also going to be getting an absolute universe Martian Manhunter, absolute universe Flash, and a bunch of others. So it's going to be a total thing when it comes to this. But like I said, this universe is going to run parallel to the main DC universe, and at some point they are going to interact. So we're getting some more information about it as time goes along. In regards to Absolute Superman, we have learned who's going to be writing Absolute Superman, and it's Jason Aaron. Yes, Marvel's favorite hitman, Jason Aaron, will be writing Absolute Superman, and apparently his plan is to turn Superman into some kind of edgelord version of Superman. Yeah, as weird as that sounds. Now, here's the thing in regards to Jason Aaron. His work at Marvel when he did Thor and the character that created God the God Butcher, absolutely fantastic work. If you only know God the God Butcher from that god awful movie, Thor Love and Thunder, then trust me, you're missing out, because God the God Butcher is actually a really cool and interesting character in the comics. If you want to learn about who God the God Butcher is, read the comics. That's where you're going to get the information. You're not going to get it from whatever crap they're trying to do there. You need to read the comics to properly get the information as to how good God the God Butcher is. What he did with Jane Foster's Thor when it started off, people were like, this might be interesting. Let me check this out. But then, after a while, they were like, oh, God, please stop this. Please stop it. And if you want any better example of what Jason Aaron did to a character to destroy them, you need to look no further than Punisher. He took Punisher and just dragged him over the coals. Frank Castle went from a man whose life got destroyed when his family was killed, and he became the Punisher to punish all those who do these things. And they turned him into the fact that Frank Castle was always a little psychopath who was killing people even when he was a kid. His family was terrified of him. His wife and children wanted to leave him right before they got killed. And then his wife came back, took all his money, shot him, called him a good-for-nothing bitch, and left. That's what happened. That is what they were doing there. But that was their thing in regards to what they were doing when it comes to that. So he's coming over to DC to write Absolute Superman. So let's take a look at this article here from Screen Rant. Jason Aaron on revitalizing Superman for the Absolute Universe. Okay. DC Comics is making bold changes to its biggest icons, including Superman, with its upcoming initiative DC All In. It was just a few weeks ago that the publisher confirmed it was going to overhaul its greatest heroes in a new world known simply as the Absolute Universe, a world built on dark side energy. The Absolute Universe is an Earth where heroes lack many of the comforts of their prime universe counterparts. I wouldn't really call it comforts, but okay. Batman has no money and Wonder Woman has no island, but what of the Man of Steel? Superstar writer Jason Aaron sat down with Screen Rant at Comic-Con to reveal what fans can expect from Absolute Superman. So let's go through some of what he talks about. He starts off saying that, he coming into DC for the first time after 20 years in comics. I like the idea of doing a Batman project. I knew I wanted to because he's currently doing a Batman. He did a Batman thing. It exactly wasn't bad from what I understood, but I didn't really reread it. I don't read DC comics and stuff anymore because it always turns to crap at some point. So he goes on to talk about how he, when he found out that Scott Snyder's going to be doing the Absolute Universe, how he was really interested and he wanted to go in and give his own take on what he wanted to do with Superman and all of this stuff there. So it's not really a thing. But then he goes on to talk more about what we're going to be getting with Absolute Superman, right? He goes on to talk about the costume. The costume is very different in a lot of ways. Parts of it glow. His hair's long. His cape looks very, very different. All those things are not just cosmetic choices. There's a reason that cape looks like that. I'll give you the one tidbit I'll say is look at the cape. It's got a gradient text here. He's literally wearing the dust of Krypton. Yes, people, let me reread that. He's literally wearing the dust of Krypton. His cape is the dust of Krypton, right? This cape here isn't a cape, it's dust, right? He's wearing the dust of Krypton. So apparently when he goes to fight somebody, I guess he could set it up their nose and choke them to death or something like that because he's literally wearing the dust of Krypton, right? Come back to that picture just now. Even that has different meanings that reflect on who his parents are, what happened with Krypton, what that suit means. So every part of him has a meaning. His hair being long has a meaning beyond just looking cool. I don't think the hair being long looks cool because Superman with long hair has never worked in the comics, whatever. He literally looks like he has lava on his arms and down by his feet as well. But the long hair, the fact that the costume is darker and he's wearing the dust of Krypton. I don't know who thought this was a good idea because Superman having a cape is Superman having a cape, but this time this version of him is wearing the dust of Krypton. So I'm guessing Krypton has been destroyed and he's wearing the dust of his dead world. I don't know how he got it, how it's staying there or whatever. But his cape is the dust of Krypton. Good Lord in heaven, I'm telling you. He's basically looking to turn this winner Superman into some kind of edgelord Superman. I tell you. He goes on to talk about but you will see why his hair is like that. It has very specific, profound meanings for who he is and what his personality is. Yeah, because from what I understand, this Superman does not arrive on Earth as a baby. He arrives on Earth when he's like about, I think it's 18 years old or something. So he's much more jaded. He doesn't have the morals and stuff that Superman has. He doesn't look at people as, his equal or anything like that. Or people he should respect and try to save. No. The whole long hair thing, from what I have heard, could be what the information that I've gotten is that the whole long hair thing is to show that he's a completely different version of Superman. He arrived on Earth as a teenager with these powers and he's a little more rebellious and stuff like that now. But let's continue on. All that being important in the costume is the same for his life. Krypton is different. His place in Krypton, his parents' place and Krypton and his relationship with them, that's all different. How he came to Earth is different. What happened when he got here? The story doesn't start in Metropolis. It just starts in Brazil in a diamond mine. So yeah, he does not, from what I understand, I say he got to Earth when he was older. That's the information that I have gotten. That's the information I've gotten. We wait and say that's going to be true. But this Superman doesn't start off in Metropolis, City of Tomorrow. No, apparently he's sort of in a diamond mine in Brazil. Not sure what the other has to do with anything, but that's what we're getting. His place in the world has changed. He doesn't have a family. He doesn't have a home. his connection to Earth is different. We're meeting a Superman who is a little bit more raw, a little bit angrier. His powers are more raw. He's still figuring out what he can do. All that said, you can assume as part of that his life in Kansas wasn't what we think it should be. So yeah, this is the things I'm talking about. This Superman arrives on Earth when he's older, when he's a teenager. He doesn't get raised by Ma and Pa Kent and get the things about him, the values and stuff instilled in him. No. This one arrives when he's older. And as they say here, he's a bit more raw, a little bit angrier. His powers are more raw. He's still figuring out what he can do. So this is like basically when every Kryptonian who supposedly should be dead shows up on Earth, starts to realize that they have these powers, that they could do these things, and this and that, and they start to see them a little more angry on that thing, because this one doesn't have the control Superman has built up over the years to what he needs to do. This is just it, and then you have him just pop into that diamond mine in Brazil, and that's where this whole thing begins for him. I don't know. I don't think Jason Aaron and the rest of them, I get that they're trying to do this different version of the entire DC line with this absolute power universe, and it's a much darker, much more grainy and gritty version of everything. But people seem to misunderstand when it comes to Superman. The things that make Superman so good, what will always make him the greatest superhero alive? The morals, the values, the hope. And that's one thing that the world could use a lot of hope. And that's what Superman always envisions, Superman always brings to the table. And DC has for a long time now been determined to just get away from that. Like for some reason, Superman being Superman bothers them, so they need to get rid of that. And this absolute universe was supposed to be their version of doing the same ultimate universe that Marvel did. But when Marvel did the ultimate universe, they wanted to do versions of these classic heroes in a way that was a bit more upgraded of it, but still stuck to the essence of what worked. And I've said before, if you like the earlier works of the MCU, you have the absolute universe to thank for that, because that's where all of it came from. Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, all of that came from the ultimate universe. So yeah, that's what they were doing. This version now is a much darker, grittier version of stuff, and it's not supposedly, in my opinion, anything to really be, because we've seen What If and I should say more like Elseworlds versions of Superman and the Justice League and all these things before. We've seen it. You understand me? We've seen bad Superman, we've seen grungy Superman, we've seen don't know how to control his powers, Superman, all this. But you know what always comes back to the forefront? Superman at his best, that's what always brings people in. And until we start to really get more of that, what else are we really doing? So yeah, we have Jason Aaron who's going to be writing Superman, absolute universe Superman, who has long hair, lava-like things on his arms. He doesn't have a cape. He's literally wearing the dust of Krypton. And this is his thing. So yeah, Jason Aaron is setting up to give us edgelord Superman, and I'm guessing he thinks this is what's supposed to really work, but whatever, I guess we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.